have been a lot of reaction to the chief of staff to the president, renovation of a house or maybe building a house for the chief of staff, of which the chief of staff came out to rebuke the report, saying that, there is no such thing, building any apartment, that he's staying in his private house, and play with APC and the federal government. If you are proposing a budget, a policy or a project to acquire something, it is better for you to pass the message properly. The problem that this APC have been having since 2015 that they came on board is a lack of proper communication. They don't communicate their project properly. If you have proper communication and you strategize properly, people will not speculate. But if a situation whereby you just do something haphazardly, then what do you expect? People will speculate and keep saying things. But let's look at the money that is going to be spent on some useless item in this budget. Taking a look at 6.2 billion naira that will be spent on vehicles. Vehicles for who? How do you spend 6.2 billion on vehicles? What is the budget for your education? And if you go ahead, 61.29 billion for building and construction, renovation and building of, I don't really understand. Anyway, they will now tell you that the presidential lodge and the vice presidential lodge in Lagos need to be rehabilitated because it has been abandoned for a very long period of time. And then they will come up to tell you that they have to receive some foreign delegate and all of that. If the president is visiting Lagos State, which is his hometown, he has his mansion there, why don't he just cut costs? It's all about telling the people to, tighten their belt. Why don't you also cut costs by, staying in your residence, staying in your house? By doing that, you will show Nigerians that you actually love them for cutting off costs. Instead of even going to a hotel, you go to your house and sleep in your house. Muhammadu Buhari, when he go to Katsina, where did he stay? He go to his house to stay there. When Jonathan go to Otweke, where did he stay? He go to his house to stay there. But it is better that you cut costs. Yes, renovation of those buildings is necessary. It is important that you do them. But you look at your scale of preference first. But when people are filled with a lot of hunger for luxury, what do you expect from them? They will continue to spend money anyhow. Going further, you will see 20.52 billion, for presidential fleet. How do you spend such money for presidential fleet? How many vehicles do we have now? Private jet, jet for the president. How many do we have now? We learned that one is even off for sale, of which I will be talking much about in our next video. Now they are spending 7.5 billion for presidential foreign trips. So the 20.52 billion is only to maintain the presidential fleet, while the 7.5 billion is for the presidential foreign trips. So not this one that he has gone within the last how many months. From January to December next year, the president will be traveling from one country to another. This man has traveled more than 6 countries already. Every 3 weeks he's out of Nigeria. So next year, we'll be spending 7.5 billion on foreign trips, him and his vice president. And then you look at 6.2 billion for state house operational vehicles. Anyway, those vehicles are the vehicles that they will use to welcome prime ministers of other nations of the world, foreign delegates and all of that. We understand, but that money is too much. 6 point something. Anyway, we know that the vehicles that they are using are luxurious vehicles and all of that. You need to buy fuel and all of that. If they're not moving the car every day, are you buying fuel every day? I don't just even understand. And the most catchy, the most useless item there is spending 5.84 billion for food that the MDs, the AC assistant, this one, assistant, that one, what they will be eating in Villa, over 5.84 billion. How do you spend such amount of money for food? Not for the president yet. This is just for the MD and the rest within the villa. This doesn't make any sense at all. when people cannot even, okay, what happened to their salary? So what did they do with their salary? Some of these people are staying in their personal houses. Some of them, the government build houses and then, they take them and all of that. Then, what do they spend their money for? Their vehicles, they use official vehicles that the government is buying fuel and everything for them. So they collected their salary and go and spend it on whatever they want to spend it. But Nigerians, the civil servants who are working at a secretariat across the country, what happened? Are they going to also budget food for them to be eating during work hours, or maybe during break, and then they go take breakfast, just like we have a school feeding program during Muhammadu Buhari's administration? Maybe we should have workers feeding program, whereby when you come to work in the morning, you have to take your breakfast, you have to take your lunch, then you go back home and take your dinner, to make people work better. Because I don't understand why you are budgeting so much money for food. Why can't they eat from home? And if they eat from home, is there no break time? Is there no canteen? Can they go to the canteen and eat? And but why spending so much money on food? And then you look at especially the educational sector. Look at our Nigerian police force. Look at the way they treat them. If you pay these people properly, and then you let them pass through rehabilitation, because those people, their heads sometimes they knock. If not, we will not be having all these accidental discharge here and there. Now, look at what the army went and did in Kaduna, of which I will be talking in our next video anyway. But then, this is so bad for the government to spend that kind of amount of money on food, not for the president, not for the family of the president, but for us aides and MDs and people working within the villa. It's not making any sense at all. What do you think about this? Here are the reactions from many people, reacting on Twitter, on social media. But then, let's have your take at the comment section, and then let's leave it civil.
Viral. We have seen it. I did send the budget to you. Let's just pull up some more breakdowns that got a lot of people talking. The first is 319.28 billion naira that was earmarked for all federal governments, MDAs, and presidency to be spent on publicity, welfare, medical, and miscellaneous. Then also another 61.29 billion, which I had just talked about, that was earmarked for renovation and construction of buildings. Then another 20.52 billion naira that will be spent on the presidential air fleet. This got a lot of people talking. Then another 7.5 billion naira, which was earmarked for foreign trips for the president and the vice president, 7.5 billion. Then another 6.2 billion will be spent on state house operational vehicles. Then another 5.84 billion naira will be spent on meals for all the MDAs. I know this one will catch Dr. Abati's attention.